Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Speak On It podcast. I am your host, Big Mike. It has been a long week in sports, and we are here to talk about it. Of course, you know I can't do this alone. We got a nice three-man weave tonight. Got to bring in my man, the Mad Producer, Podcast Poppy, in the building.
We're out here.
And I don't see his camera on. I guess he's still preparing. There he is. Getting ready, ladies and gentlemen. We are doing it is punishment night. Here doing his punishment from last week. Roz is in the building.
He's gonna do his best not to talk.
I would recommend to anyone listening to this to go on our YouTube page to see Roz has a spoon in his mouth with an egg on it.
Insane.
And he has to go the whole show like this. And what if he drops the egg? What happens then?
I have to get another one.
There's number one. The first one dropped, so you know what that means. You know what I got.
Bang, bang.
Bang. This is going to be a fun show. We got some topics to talk about. A lot going on in sports. We're going to get right to it. If you're looking for a full recap on our NFL games, I would welcome you to check out Dylan on our we did Monday this week, but usually Sundays are after football special where we recap everything so we can just get right to it today. You guys know what happened. First question, best team in football. After 2 weeks, I mean, Anthony disagrees, but Anthony's not here, so
I don't know I don't understand who he was going to pick.
I don't know who he was going to pick, but I mean, I think it's pretty clear that right now, at this moment, week 2, it's a 2-horse race between the Cowboys and the 49ers. Who is the best team in the league right now?
I say it's it just
Shit like that.
I say it's the Cowboys. I think it's far and away the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys have the better quarterback. I think the Cowboys have the better offensive line. I think the Cowboys have like an elite passing attack. I'm not going to say it's better because I like Ayuk and I like what's his face, Debo, and McCaffrey's obviously the best running back in football. But a healthy Cowboys team with CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup, Tony Pollard, Deuce Vaughn. That offense is crazy. McCarthy's doing a hell of a job calling plays. Their defense, that Cowboys defense is the best defense in football from top to bottom. Hands down. They have the best cornerback tandem. Their weaknesses, I think, are their safeties and their linebackers, but I think they have better safeties than people think. The linebackers lack a little bit of speed, but are still fucking awesome. Great trenches, and the best player in football. Not the best defensive player in football, the best player in football, Micah Parsons. Like, there's nothing you could do about Micah Parsons. He exists. Like, that's it. That's it. He may just skip Defensive Player of the Year and just go to MVP. He's going to be like, I've come runner-up back-to-back years. I may just skip that award completely.
Oh, if you're wondering.
Bang, bang, bang.
Shit like that.
Oh,
I can't do this.
I was gonna run through that carton very quickly. Ross, did you want to say something? Was there something you wanted to say?
Cowboys.
Oh, this is a man of so few words. Cowboys.
The Cowboys just got him speechless, man.
They're just so good. They beat the Jets so bad he has nothing to say. Nothing.
I really am interested to know who Anthony thinks is the actual best team in football.
I also think it's the Cowboys.
If it's not the Cowboys or the Niners, who is it?
I mean, he wouldn't dare have himself say the Chiefs. So
because they're not.
Maybe he might do Baltimore. Baltimore looks really good.
But Baltimore doesn't look as overwhelming as the Cowboys do.
No.
That I think is the problem.
You may say Philly.
Philly's not. Philly, it does not look the same.
I don't think
Philly is still very good, but they don't look the same. The
Philly
Cowboys just look so overwhelming.
Philly will have to be dealt with, but I wouldn't say like right now if we're doing a power ranking, I wouldn't put Philly over either. I actually wouldn't put Philly over Baltimore right now.
I wouldn't either.
I would.
Over Baltimore?
Yeah, I would.
I don't know. They played the Patriots really close after getting out, and then the Vikings, who stink, almost came back on them.
The only thing with that though, the Vikings were never going to win that game.
Yeah, but the fact that they got there, they
scored a late touchdown in the fourth quarter that made it seem closer than it was. That game.
But there was too many points in that game where it's like, what the fuck? And Jalen Hurts, despite like what his stats say, he didn't play awesome. They took the ball out of his hands. They ran the ball 48 times.
The Vikings couldn't stop the run. I would have kept running it too.
It's one of those things where I brought this up before this game last pod, where it was like, did the Patriots kind of like set the tone for the league on Philly? Where you could kind of figure out a way to slow them down and make them not look as overwhelming as they did last year.
It's a copycat league.
It's copycat league, and when the worst thing that could have happened to Philly was starting off with Bill first. And Bill did a great job taking away the first read. And taking away the first read, you forced Jalen Hurts to go through the rest of his progressions. And you could kind of see him slow down a little bit. The Vikings tried to do the same thing. It didn't work as much because the Vikings defense is fucking horrible, but there were moments where it worked. The problem is when they weren't able to take away the first read, Devontae Smith was open like 4 straight times for 100 and like 1 billion yards.
And like I said, they couldn't stop the run. It's not like they were, they had to pass and they had to pass because they couldn't run. They couldn't stop the run regardless.
Yeah, but there was a lot of times last year where they elected to just keep passing the football when they could have easily just run. Yeah. But they decided to go away from it because I think they saw Hurts struggling a little bit.
Why? It's
and that's not a bad thing. You do play to your strengths, but that's where those questions for Hurts come from me, right? I've been saying that last year was a bad year to have that because the teams just didn't do it. But we saw it week 1. We saw a little bit week 2 against a worse defense. I'm interested to see who does Philly play this week.
They haven't played in the preseason together. They barely played.
Well, most teams never do. Their starters really never play.
I mean, the Jets didn't have their O-line for the entire preseason.
And Dwayne Brown just doesn't practice at all. Oh, they play the Bucs. So that's going to be a very intriguing game because we're going to find out if the Bucs are for real. Because the Bucs have a good fucking defense and are very well coached on the defensive side.
And they're playing.
Bang, bang.
I think that's gonna be a very close game. I think the spread on that's 3.5.
Where is it? In Tampa or in Philly?
In Tampa. It's the first of the Monday night doubleheaders.
Wait, they're doing this doubleheader thing every week?
No, they'll do it for the first couple weeks.
Oh,
I like that.
They usually do it week 1.
Yeah,
but week 1 has been like the 9/11 game, so they let that be like the
Aaron Rodgers night.
Well, no, it was that last year too, where it was like, hey, we're gonna leave that to be its own thing to get as many ratings as possible. Then we'll revert back to 2 doubleheaders, whatever.
Yeah, I think the New York team has to have the 9/11 game. I think every year.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. I don't know why the Yankees and the Mets aren't home every year on that game either. I mean, I just
Yeah, you would think because they're the ones that actually were driving the sports, like phenomenon during that time with Mike Piazza and also, just in November, Alfonso Soriano and Gear and those guys against the Diamondbacks. So yeah, why not?
Oh, this is great.
I don't even remember what we were talking about. What were we
But
saying?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know who you would pick as that third team. I think Baltimore's a great option. The Browns are not, and I know
Not
Anthony's
yet.
been super high on the Browns.
I mean, he would have had. I could understand it had the injury not happened because the Browns had looked really good week one. I mean, if they had won that game, we would have been like, yeah, this team. They still didn't play bad despite what happened.
Sean Watson pretty
They
bad.
had 4 fumbles.
I'm not getting into this argument.
No, I'm saying they had 4. They legitimately 4. They had a scoop and score fumble. They had a pick 6. Like they were giving the ball away. So it's like they didn't play good. That whole Steelers Browns game was bad football back and forth.
That Pittsburgh team looked like absolute dog shit before that.
Like they were not having a fun time, either team playing football on Monday. So I messaged the group chat after that game. I was like, so are we gonna not overreact to the Steelers losing to one of the best teams in football and acknowledge them when they play a team closer to their skill gap, or what? Because the Steelers look like they were competing that game, and those are the games that matter more. Them division games.
I didn't watch the game, so I can't say how they looked.
They both teams look like shit. There you go. There's your recap. But Watson particularly did not look very good.
Well, that's my quarterback, so I need him to step it up.
Meanwhile, they took a point away from the Steelers defense, and I lost.
Yeah. And Roz, did you see who he lost to? He lost to Darius.
Not only I would have beaten literally every team this week, every single team this week, but me and Darius had the 2 highest scoring teams in football. I lost by 0.9.
Yeah.
If the Steelers defense, they gave the Steelers defense 24 points. The Browns completed a pass, 23 points, and I lost.
The breaks, man. I have some terrible ass songs too.
It's the worst, the fucking worst.
I'm on the board though, so I can't be mad. We're on the board.
I don't know what you just said.
First W.
I believe he said we're on the board.
Yes.
Oh.
First W on the board.
Okay, how nice. At least somebody, because that was the West Division. Whew.
Dog shit.
Whew.
Shout out to my brother, 0-2. Eat a dick.
0-2.
Eat a dick, Steven.
That's wild.
Caught that L. He caught that L this week. Caught that L.
He caught a massive L.
Raj out here doing God's work.
Don't worry, he's about to be in real trouble with the Bengals team he's got, the stack of Burrow and Chase.
Yeah, I need Chase to wake up.
Well, you're going to need somebody to throw him the ball because Burrow's not going to be playing.
I need Najee Harris to wake the fuck up too.
Najee Harris is going to lose his job. I tried telling you all this. I tried saying they were really high on Warren, and everyone's like, nah, Najee Harris is a beast. Najee Harris is about to lose his job.
Yeah, amazing year last year. That's kind of crazy.
He's about to lose it. They don't like how he runs. They don't think he's a smart runner.
That's wild.
And you're about to see the decline of Najee Harris because the Steelers don't believe in him.
Mike Tomlin don't play that either.
He had an awesome year. You be able to consider him a great runner.
Mike Tomlin don't fuck.
His year was fantastic.
Tomlin don't play that. So, do we think the Niners are close or not even close? Because
the Cowboys?
Yes, because it's a consistent consensus that we all think it's the Cowboys.
I think they're close. I think I have more questions on the rest of the Niners offensive line outside of Trent Williams and quarterback.
I hate to be an Anthony apologist here or a cheerleader, but that man has still not lost a regular season game.
He hasn't, but here's tell me the defenses he's played against.
Does it matter?
Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does when he's not playing. The best defense he played is the Steelers, and the Steelers looked like dog shit because they couldn't stop McCaffrey or anybody that game.
But the Steelers have a good defense.
The Steelers are the best defense they played, and then they just dropped like 31 on the Rams, and he didn't throw a touchdown. So, like, you can only do so much here. Like, when teams start to take away, it's the same thing with Jalen Hurts. When teams start to take away that first read, he's going to struggle. But the problem is they play so fast that ball's out. Whether that read's there or he's thrown to McCaffrey in the flat or Debo short or whatever, Shanahan does a great job of hiding Brock Purdy. A great job of hiding him. But that's what happens when you have the best play caller in football.
So, Brock Purdy has the best play caller in football. Jalen Hurts has the best team in football. But neither one of them are responsible for the success that they're having.
Brock Purdy, no, because you could just hand the ball. You see what Christian McCaffrey's been doing the last 2 weeks. It doesn't matter if Brock Purdy's on the field or not.
Christian McCaffrey, you said, wasn't that guy?
I never said he wasn't that guy.
Wasn't
I
worth the
said
money.
the team
Wasn't
will
worth the money. That's
name
what
me
you
a
said.
running back in the NFL making as
That's
much
what
as
you
Christian
said.
McCaffrey.
He said he wasn't worth the money because he looks worth the money right now.
Does he? And when the Niners get rid of him next year because he's going to make $15 million and running backs are making, I don't know, $9 million less, why would they keep him when they have to cut salary cap? You tell me. Especially when he doesn't have a dead cap hit and you could cut him and cut your losses. Why would it make sense?
Saquon's making 12.
Saquon's making 10 with like $2 million in incentives. Saquon signed a franchise tag deal.
Was he making like close to? Somebody else signed a contract like that.
Josh Jacobs is making.
Josh Jacobs signed a 1-year deal. The same thing, kind of the same thing as they pretty much signed a franchise tag deal.
Except Josh is going to be a free agent.
So will Saquon.
No, they can franchise him if they want.
He's going to hit free agency. He's going to hit free agency.
I don't think they can franchise Josh again, though.
Well, they didn't sign the tag, so they
that's what I mean. I don't think they can. That's what I mean. He is just abruptly. He is a free agent. They can run this game with Saquon again next year if they want.
Well, they could do the same thing with Josh Jacobs. They could put the tag on him.
I don't think they can put the tag on him.
Yes, they can.
I think that's in his contract that they can't. That's what I'm saying.
If he put that in his contract, then go by all means.
Double check. I think
then the Raiders are stupid for signing that contract. Doesn't matter. He's rushing for negative yards now. So, but no, it's when you're trying to destroy the running back value. Why would you keep a running back at $15 million, and then while also destroying your books?
No, they did not put that in the contract. You're right.
Yeah, so he'll be a free. They could play the same game again. It's just financially and what the league structure is, and overpaying a running back by like $9 million doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So that's why I stay there. But that doesn't take away from McCaffrey's talent because McCaffrey is like the best running back in football. Jalen Hurts, their defense.
But he's overpaid.
Yes. As far as running backs go, what's the running back average? What is it, 10 mil? So if every running back gets paid 10 million and you get paid 15 million, you're overpaid.
But he's better than every other running back.
Yeah, apparently he's $5 million better than everybody too. Or $9 million. Yeah, but again, they're trying to destroy the running back value market. Like, I'm not saying he's not worth the money. I'm just saying a team's not going to want to pay their running back the highest amount out of any running back. They have 10 people on their team who are making top 5 money at their position. You can't afford to do that.
No. They're gonna
so what's the least valuable position on the football team?
It would be running back.
There you go. We did it.
The problem is He's the best player on the team.
We've done this already, Mike. We've had for years. You can't name like another like 3 running backs outside of Frank Gore and Christian McCaffrey that have run through there. They like it doesn't matter who the running back is. The scheme works. The scheme works.
If you think that they can just make another Christian, if they could just make another Christian McCaffrey,
They made Raheem Mostert.
They wouldn't, and he wasn't Christian McCaffrey. You're missing the point.
He ran for the most rushing yards in a playoff game of all time. Clearly, they did it.
Make another Christian McCaffrey, or they wouldn't have gone and got Christian McCaffrey.
They went to stack the deck. That's what Christian McCaffrey was. They went to go stack the deck. The problem is everybody blew up. That whole team blew up.
Why wouldn't they just get rid of him now then? Since they can just make another one.
Cap hit. Why get rid of him now?
Trade him.
You still take a cap hit because he still has money on his contract guaranteed to him. That's why you don't do that.
Because you
next
can
year,
that. You can negotiate that.
Next year, goodbye.
So they're going to get rid of him. Who else did you say they're going to get rid of?
I said they're going to get rid of the corner. I forget his name. They're getting rid of the corner. I think they'll get a McCaffrey, and I think they'll get rid of one of the tackles. And then you just freed up $60 million. Because you're not going to get rid of Bosa. You're not going to get rid of Fred Warner.
They're going to pay Brock Purdy.
No, they can't pay Brock. Brock Purdy's under contract. Like,
but I'm saying that's going to be coming too.
Well, in 2 more years. You got to get rid of now because if they go into the season right now with what they have, they're over the salary cap by like 40 mil. Can't do it. Literally can't do it. Eventually, you got to get rid of somebody. And, like, that's just the long and short of it. That's just how it goes.
Got to be all in.
Got to figure it out. You got to make money work.
This is the all in there.
Because what are you going to do? Get rid of Trent Williams, who's the best left tackle in football? No, you're not going to do that. What are you going to do? Get rid of Fred Warner, who's the best middle linebacker in football? No, you're not going to do that. What are you going to do? Get rid of Nick Bosa, one of the 3 best defensive ends in football? No, you're not going to do that.
I already told you. I think they're going to get rid of Debo.
They just signed Debo. You can't get rid of him.
All I need was to cut Trent Williams.
Or Trent Williams, but they're not gonna get rid of him.
You need a left tackle.
I wish.
You need a left tackle. Can't get rid of him. Debo just signed. You're going to be taking not only the cap hit, you're also going to be negative cap because of the guaranteed money that you owe him. Can't get rid of him.
Yeah, the Niners. This is the year for the Niners. They have to be able to make that.
They have to win now or blow it up. Salary cap is a demon.
They got to win this year. Dallas has to win in the next 2 years.
Cowboys still have a little bit of time.
Yeah, that Parsons next year. That's it. That's it. They have to win the next 2 years. Parsons up.
Yeah. Well, Parsons going to get his deal. It's when Parsons and Diggs come get their money. That's where it's like, shit.
2 years. They signed Diggs already.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. They did.
Parsons is 2 years from now with the 5th-year option.
I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. Because he's going to get paid everything.
Because I think Parsons is the Zach year, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So 2 more years.
I think you're going to see the Niners restructure a lot of contracts. I think that's what's going to happen.
That can happen too.
It could. But you can't restructure a contract that's up. Or that's expired. Or is on its last year. Sorry. Can't restructure that. Unless you convert the whole thing to signing bonus.
Okay.
What? How can you restructure a contract when it's its last year? You can't push money back any further like you could on a 3-year deal. You
sign them to an extension. And then you restructure the contract that way.
I don't think they would do that. Because then they reset the market.
That's not my problem.
NFL don't want that. And all the owners are colluding together.
They collude all the time. That didn't stop the Browns.
What did the Browns do? They signed a running back for $4 million.
They signed the quarterback for 230.
Fully guaranteed. First fully guaranteed NFL contract. Name me a player who's got a fully guaranteed contract.
Hasn't happened since.
Because it's not gonna happen.
Years. But my
Team
point
glued it
is,
together to stop that.
It didn't stop the Browns from doing that. Just like it won't stop.
Well, they weren't trying. They didn't know the Browns were doing that. The Browns did that.
It won't stop another team from doing that. Oh, one more time.
If the rest of the league knew that the Browns were going to give him a fully guaranteed, they would have been, oh no. The problem is the Browns did it, and then every player went to expect it, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not doing that."
Yeah, but so who do you think is the best team, the Cowboys or the Niners?
It's Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I'd say right now it's the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I think we would agree. It's the Cowboys, but the Niners are close.
They are close. But the Cowboys, they got some dogs on that offensive line. They really
Niners
do.
might end up with a better record.
Yeah, because they play the easier schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of their teams are significantly worse in the kind of division.
And the Cowboys play in a better division. So,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So don't discount the Cowboys getting beat up.
The Cowboys will take some punches. They're going to take some punches.
By the time we see by the time the bye week or the trade deadline comes by, it may not be the same team that you see in week 1 or 2. Because if CeeDee Lamb gets hurt, that team is not that good.
Let's not root for that. I don't need that.
Of course not. I'm just saying.
Where's Anthony? Anthony will root for that.
I've had enough. I've had enough of that for one season. But moving on, speaking of, the Bengals and the Browns played a interesting game on Monday night. Obviously, the big headline, we're not going to show the clip for our YouTube video. We're not going to show Nick Chubb getting hurt.
Browns Steelers.
Prayers for Nick Chubb.
Yeah, we're not. Mike was like, "Should we play the clip?" I was like, "Absolutely not. Let's not play the clip. Let's not do it." That's a nasty injury. That is as serious as I think it is, that is a career ender.
That is.
Yeah.
I already saw they already announced that he had multiple tears in his knee.
PCL, MCL, dislocation, like all that.
Insane. You're talking about what's that guy from South Carolina who was really good, and he had the same injuries as Nick Chubb, and he's never the same as that.
South Carolina.
The dude that was on the Bucks.
He was a monster in South Carolina.
He was on the Bucks.
He was on the Jaguars first, and then he went to the Bucks.
Running back?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was the best running back in football before.
Yes. Yes.
In college, he was the best running back in football.
Yes. By a large margin.
Jags, then Bucks?
I'm going to tell you. Marcus Lattimore.
Ah, there we go. Yep.
Marcus Lattimore. Never the same.
No.
Never the same. I remember
I saw a super physical runner, man.
I saw that live, and I couldn't believe that I saw that.
Nick Chubb went through some of the worst injuries in all of sports because he had that same drop foot injury, they call it, that Lattimore had in Georgia. And he came back and he's been awesome. Now he goes through like almost a similar situation in the same knee. It's like you can only put the body through so much, man.
Yeah, prayers up to him, but I hope he gets the treatment and stuff he needs, and he makes the decision that's best for him, because that's a tough one to come back for.
Yeah, it's beyond football now. I just hope he can still walk okay, man. That's what people was worried about. I'm not worried about football anymore. I'm worried, can he walk? Is he gonna be the same guy to walk? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I mean that was bad. He got wrapped up bad. Um, I saw the play. I didn't see anybody really talking about it in the chat. I just saw it on X when it happened. Did you guys think that was a dirty play?
No,
I said it was a dirty play in the chat.
I don't know how to make that a dirty play. Obviously, I know how you make it a dirty play, but I can't call it a dirty play because I've been in many a situation when I played where you kind of just dive to make a play.
It sucks because it's Nick Chubb too. I
Yeah,
still think
it's
it's a dirty play because he's already stopped in his motion, and I feel like there's no need for Patrick to go that low. You know, he's already stopped in his motion. He's not falling forward like that.
yeah, but when you're in the heat of the play and you're going, you don't really know that he's stopping his motion. We see so many times running backs get out of that and keep going and find a way to go forward. So that's where it's like it's hard to put blame on the defensive player here because he's just kind of doing his job. You know?
I'm not very fond of the super low and super high hits at all. I feel like people need to just, you know, try to do better. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Especially when you're already going full speed. It's very difficult to stop what you're doing to try to change what's happening. It is what it is. It's the same thing with that hit on Devontae, right? I've been in that situation many a time where you're going full speed, you don't know what's going to happen, or if that wide receiver's falling or whatever, you just kind of go in and you make the hit. Because if Devontae's not falling, trying to make that catch, and he's upright, that's a great hit. It's just you're going full speed. It is what it is,
that's
right?
also a great hit because that's also a super high helmet hit.
Well, if Devontae is standing upright, it's not.
I don't know what you mean.
On the Devontae Adams hit,
Yeah,
Devontae was falling.
Like
he was on his way down when the safety came and cleaned him up.
Which hit are you talking about?
The hit that sent Devontae to the sidelines, the second hospital ball that he caught. Because he caught a ball against the Bills where he got fucking cleaned and got sent off in concussion protocol.
In
In the Bills game.
Was that like 3 defenders though? Like
there's 2 guys on him. Like there's 2 guys on him. He went to go make the play, and then the third guy came from over the top.
That was a dirty hit.
The balls were tipped.
That was a dirty hit.
I disagree. It's the safety's in a very hard spot there.
He knew what he was doing. Like he was.
If Devontae wasn't falling, it's a clean hit.
It's still a dirty hit. He led with his movement. And that's a defensive receiver. Like he had time to see. He had time to aim at him on the ground. Like you're saying that because he fell, it made it worse. He was still already going down on the ground. There was no need for that hit. It's
very difficult when you're going full speed to stop what you're doing.
He had
absolutely
plenty of time. He had plenty of time to pull up.
It's the same as we hit the Redskins game. There's no difference between both of those hits.
A little bit different.
How?
A little different.
How?
But again, if this is 10 years ago, that hit on Devontae Adams, everyone's talking about how it's a fucking unbelievable hit.
Of course. But that's completely different rules this time.
It's different rules, but again, that's kind of the era of football I was playing in. So that's why it's hard to say that that's a dirty hit when that's kind of like if Devontae wasn't on his way down, that's a fucking awesome hit. And we're talking about how good of a hit that is.
You can't say that really because there's people, even though it's a different league, there's people who say like the time when people getting clothesline in the NBA, that was a different time. And it must be better because
I'm not saying it must be better. I never said it was better.
I'm just saying oh, it used to be a great hit. That used to, you use the same argument like that used to not be a foul. Like now that's a foul now. That's a foul now. You're getting thrown out the game for that.
And it should have been a foul then. Like it was dirty then, it's dirty now. Like the same thing.
With CTE and everything like that, you have to throw them out. Yes, sir.
You might as well take these opportunities to talk when you can.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Shit like that.
I don't know. I know where you guys are coming from, but as a guy who played safety, it's I don't know. I've been put in many situations where it's like it's very difficult to stop what you're doing. Full speed, go make a play, tough, because lose. Because if you catch that ball, you stop because you thought you were gonna fucking kill him, touchdown. You don't stop when he's on his way down, dirty hit.
And I hear what you're saying, because when I watched it, I didn't watch the game, I was out. So when I saw it initially, I didn't think it was dirty. When I saw it, my first instinct when I first saw it, I didn't think it was dirty. When I saw the different angles and saw the replay, I was like, yeah, I don't know.
Obviously, anything slowed down is going to look much worse than in real
time.
It
looks worse, but I didn't think it was necessary, because I thought his forward progress had stopped. I thought that play was done, and he just came in full speed for whatever reason. But I found it interesting watching the talking heads on TV that the offensive players and the offensive side of the ball thought it was a dirty play, and all the defensive players thought it wasn't, which made me think, is it a fraternity or is it just different mindset?
No, because they called that Logan Thomas hit, because that Logan Thomas hit's way worse than that Devontae Adams hit. Kareem Jackson actually launched himself up to go and get the high hit.
That was a dirty play also.
That is a dirty play. You can't fucking do that.
The play on Shakur Stevenson in the Colorado, that was a dirty, the roughing the pass, the targeting, that was a dirty play. Yep. That was a dirty play. It's you got to be fair. You gotta be fair.
It's the problem is when you talk dirty hits and stuff, it's all subjective. Yeah, because unless it's super egregious, like the Kareem Jackson play.
I'm absolutely 1,000% sure he did not mean to. I don't want to put that up. He did not mean to end Chubb's season. I'm 1,000%.
No. He did not. That's why it's like I can't call that a dirty play.
That wasn't the intent of that.
That's just one of those things where it's like that is what it is. It's so hard to make a tackle, in general, and then you limit to how you can make a tackle, and then it's like, oh, you can't really go low, but shit happens in football where you just end up going low. If I dove too soon, I went low, even though it's not my intention to go low. Oh, I took a shot, try to go for your chest. Oh, I end up at your knee. That shit happens. It's super hard to limit how you tackle because you learn how to play a certain way, and that you learn how to play a certain way, and then it's just oh, now you're homeboy who injured Nick Chubb. If they're calling him dirty, that's tough.
Shit like that.
Because he's just doing his job.
So, but this is where I think the problem is, because I can see a dirty play and know that someone's not a dirty player. I think what's happening in social media is they're trying to combine the two. And just because somebody did a dirty play in the moment, in the heat of battle, that makes them a dirty player. And I don't think that's not true. Because I don't think he's a dirty player. I think it was a dirty play. We in basketball to greatest. You see guys do flagrant fouls and stuff all the time, and you be like, "Oh, that was just a dirty play." He's not like that. Dylan seems to think Giannis is a dirty player, but he's not. He's reckless, but he's not a dirty player.
Dirty. He injured Kyrie Irving purposely.
He did not. So the ramifications, and is the Browns season over? That's the question.
No, they're still super talented. They're gonna go at the end of the day. They're gonna go as far as Deshaun brings them, which was much different than what it was before this injury, because they were gonna go as far as Nick Chubb brought them. Now you bring back Kareem Hunt. They got back together, and Kareem Hunt finds a job, and Kareem Hunt is still awesome, but he's not Nick Chubb. So I'm interested to see if Deshaun is put in fight or flight and has to kind of force himself to become that all-world quarterback he was, because he hasn't been that, and he hasn't been anything close to it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think they need to I think the Browns were going to be right there in the end. But I think that Bengals team was in trouble.
Bengals team's in trouble for a
That
different
was gonna be
reason.
my next question for Mr. Oh, how many eggs do you have left?
I have 4.
4 more.
Bang, bang, bang.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Dylan is thoroughly enjoying this punishment. But yes,
Soon.
Mr. President of Joe Burrow fan club.
Yes.
Which I already know where this is gonna go. But I'm gonna ask the question anyway. You already answered, are the Bengals in trouble? Is there something wrong with Joe Burrow?
Yeah, his fucking calf. Listen, I've become the expert of all things calf and Achilles recently. So me and my brother talked about this on Monday night after the game. We talked a little bit about Joe Burrow. If I'm the Bengals, you have to sit Joe Burrow for like 4 weeks. You have to. Just because maybe it's because I'm super familiar with this injury because my Achilles was from a calf strain.
Or because Aaron Rodgers his Achilles from a calf strain.
But mine was before Aaron Rodgers.
But I'm saying yours.
Yeah,
Aaron
mine Rodgers, and now we have Joe Burrow.
Kevin Durant, like the warning sign, the red light is flashing. Cincinnati, it's
the check engine light
you,
on.
It's telling you, slow down.
But then you have to ask yourself, with T. Higgins going off, and you might not have him again. Can you risk possibly going 0-6, 1-5 in that division?
If you're gonna try to save a man's career and his body, you may have to just say fuck these 4 games, fuck these 5 games, to make sure that he doesn't fucking ruin not only your season, going into next season and going forward. Because all it takes is one wrong step.
How many teams make the playoffs starting 0-6 or 1-5?
I think you have to throw that away. You have to throw away the playoffs if you're trying to just make sure Joe Burrow doesn't his leg doesn't explode.
So punt the season.
Punt the season. Because what are you gonna do? Trot him out there and try to win at the risk of a super high risk of him re-injuring his calf, or at worst, tearing his Achilles.
The problem, I saw that.
Bang, bang, bang.
Shit like that. Shit like that.
So it becomes what's more important? I'm sorry, Mike, but what's more important, your season or your quarterback's health?
I get that. It's that's why they get paid money, because while the clock is not on them like San Francisco and Dallas, the Bengals kind of need to do something like now. Like they need to start doing it like right now, because they're going to be in salary cap hell soon. Not right now. But
they're going to be in hell soon. I think the best part about it is they got Joe Burrow's contract out of the way, and they're just going to do that thing every other quarterback does, where, okay, this year's salary is going to be converted completely to signing bonus, and we'll put it in the back end. T. Higgins is going to get his contract no problem, because Joe Burrow is going to create the salary cap to get T. Higgins' deal done.
And if the Bengals are terrible, guess what? Marvin Harrison is guaranteed to be a Bengal.
But they don't need another receiver, right?
I mean, if you're going to replace one, you might as well replace him tomorrow.
I bet you they take him. It's either him or the best lineman on the board.
Yeah.
And you have to ask yourself, if you think Marvin Harrison is that good, you have to take him.
Well, then you put yourselves in a situation they were in when they took Jamar Chase. It's Jamar Chase or Penei Sewell. I think this time around you go with the Penei Sewell because you have the Jamar Chase. And a lot of these wide receivers are being found in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. T. Higgins was a 2nd-round pick.
That's why I don't think you take the receiver. They need to shore up that line, and they need to get some help on defense.
Yeah.
Notably, their secondary.
Secondary is dog shit.
Their secondary.
Because they lost Bates. They don't have any corners.
It's just Bates.
Yeah, they miss Bates a lot. I even say they're going to miss Eli Apple. because those guys can't cover.
No, they don't.
Those guys can't cover, man. So they're in trouble, but you have to figure out what's best for the organization going forward. Trying to win as many games as possible this year at the risk of your quarterback's health, or punting and just moving on into next year. Because Joe's going to try to fight to play, but somebody's got to sit there and be like, listen, you probably should chill out for a few weeks. Let's get your calf rehabbed, go get some MRIs, make sure your calf is good, so we don't risk you tearing your Achilles and being out all the rest of this year and most of, if not all of next year too.
Because the longer the season goes,
The longer the recovery is. Yep.
That's true.
Because that shit sucks. Recovery for this sucks. I woke up today like I got my ass kicked. So it's terrible.
If you're the Ravens, you're much dancing in the hallways right now.
Because the Ravens also aren't healthy. They still are waiting for the rest of their guys to come back, and they're flying on defense. So when Marlon Humphrey comes back, that defense is just getting better.
It's going to be amazing.
And Lamar looks fantastic.
And they haven't really incorporated Odell at all, really. He hasn't really done anything yet.
Yeah.
He was having a good game before he shockingly got hurt again.
Yeah, but I don't think it's bad. They said he's
He'll be all right.
He's going to play. He's okay.
It's just one of those things where it's like, oh, wow, Odell's hurt. Shocker. Like,
a lot of those guys are underachieving right now outside of Dave Flowers. Like, Rashad Bateman isn't really doing too much. He has a lot of talent. Odell has talent. You know,
Zay Flowers is a dog.
Zay Flowers is nasty. He's what Hollywood should have been.
Zay Flowers, if the Falcons keep continuing to not use Bijan Robinson as much as they should, Zay Flowers is my offensive rookie of the year.
I mean, Bijan had 225 yards rushing.
And they still don't use him in the red zone.
No. Because they want to preserve
Stupid.
him.
Dumb. You drafted a guy in the top 5. Use him.
Yeah.
Or top 10. I'm sorry. Use him.
He's nasty, though. He's nasty.
He's filthy. Use him more, Arthur Smith. Fire Arthur Smith.
Jordan Addison's pretty good, too.
Fire Arthur Smith.
I mean, we're leading that way. We're heading that way.
Can't fire a 2-0 coach, though.
Oh,
What?
yeah, you can.
What did he say?
He said you can't fire a 2-0 coach. You absolutely can fire a 2-0 coach if he keeps misusing this top tier talent that he has, like Kyle Pitts.
That division, man.
I told you the only reason I didn't pick Atlanta to win the division was because I didn't think they didn't have a quarterback. But
Bang, bang, bang.
Shit like that.
but there's a lot of talent on that team, and I'm pleasantly surprised at what Atlanta's doing. But like I said, I knew there was talent on that team. But if their quarterback, if they get decent quarterback play, Atlanta's going to be a tough out.
That's my
Yeah, their
dark
defense
horse.
still sucks.
That's my dark horse for Kirk Cousins. If the Vikings don't do anything by the deadline, I think he's an Atlanta Falcon. I think the Falcons take a serious look at Kirk Cousins in the dome as well too. I really think they do.
I mean,
He'd be a great fit.
problem. Yeah, he'd be a good fit. Like I've said twice in the chat now, and it just kind of dies because I guess y'all just don't think so. But I think Kirk Cousins would fit the Jets.
No,
I don't think the Jets would do it.
It's between the Jets and the Falcons. The Jets will only do it if they come out in this stretch at least like 3-2 or 4-4. If the Jets win the next 2 games and they get out this like 5 to 6 game stretch,
2-4 is what you're trying to say?
no, like 3-2. If they come out like 3-3, anything.
In order for them to go 3-2, they have to win 3 in a row.
That's what I'm saying.
If they win 3 in a row, the Jets ain't trading for nobody.
Nah, I think they would.
No, I think they
Depends
would.
on how they win.
Yeah, if the Jets win if the Jets have 3 or more wins after these 6-game stretch, they will probably go extra hard for Kirk Cousins. If the Vikings aren't, if they're on the same pace they're on right now.
If the Jets end up winning these games by the skin of their teeth because we're not putting points on the board, they'll absolutely go get a quarterback.
That's it. They will literally sign Kirk Cousins. They will literally take him. They will literally trade for him and let him walk.
The craziest scenario here would be trading for him, tagging him, then trading him. That would be ridiculous.
That'd be fire.
But I don't think the Jets would do it. I just don't think the Jets are going to give up more draft capital for another quarterback who's not going to be on the team.
Yeah, and I can easily see the Falcons being like winning like if the Falcons were to win 3 out of their next if the Falcons get 2 or 3 wins in the next 4 games, I really think Kirk Cousins would be. I think they will go as high as the 3rd or a conditional 3rd for Kirk Cousins. I can see it.
The only way I see us doing is if we were to give up somebody like Bryce Huff and then a draft pick. That's the only way I see us doing it.
I would do that for Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm. I think it'll be Bryce, Carl, and then a 3.
I'd love to do that. I would. That would be perfect.
Because then you clear up the extra 24 mil in salary. Just make it work.
They just couldn't ask for a better trade, honestly. And they need defense. The Vikings need anything.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think they would say no to it. I don't think they would say no to anything on the defensive side. Or even instead of, if you're not looking to take on Carl, they could probably look to take on an Eccles or a Bryce Hall included in that to get help in their secondary. So,
well, I don't know if they take Bryce now.
No, Bryce, not Brees.
Oh, Bryce.
We have 2 guys on our team, Bryce and Brees.
Hate your team.
We got Bryce, Brees, and 2 Michael Carters.
Just commentator hell is the Jets. That's what it is.
Don't worry, Bryce doesn't play, so the commentators don't gotta worry about it.
For special teams, he's the one that did that block.
Yeah,
he had a good block on that return as well too.
Sorry, I'm sitting here just looking at our Yankees highlights, and I'm looking because Aaron Boone got tossed.
Oh, what do you know? Again.
But no, Braz, when you see these highlights, because he got thrown out for balls and strikes, because he always argues balls and strikes.
Mm-hmm.
But this was terrible. ESPN just showed 4 straight calls, and none of them were in the strike. None of them were in K zone. None of them were in K zone, and they were all called strikes. So I know Aaron Boone lost his mind when he saw that. But yeah, so there you go. So I just go by the line. You just play who's in front of you. But because I'm in a chat with people that just never give credit. If Tennessee, this is how this is gonna work. If Tennessee beats the Bengals next week and Joe Burrow doesn't play, because I also don't think he's gonna play, are you gonna give Tennessee credit for that, Dylan?
Why wouldn't I? If they win, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, they didn't play Joe Burrow. You beat that team. That's fine. A win is a win." Will I hold it against you when I tell you don't play nobody?
Hearing from you.
Will I hold it against you when it comes down to what good teams you played and beaten? Yeah, because that's not a good team right now.
So that is truly how you feel.
Yeah, you get the win, great for you. Love you, thanks. I don't know what to tell you. Congratulations, you guys beat the Bengals. Fantastic, that's wonderful. Appreciate you. But in the grand scheme of things, when it comes down to the playoff teams that you beat and the teams over 500 that you beat, et cetera, the stuff that actually matters. So when you play good teams in the playoffs, you don't get dog walked.
You don't get credit.
Insert the Vikings here. Right? That shit matters. When you play bad teams all year and then you walk into the playoffs against good teams, you lose.
That's what I
because you don't know how to play against good football teams.
Won't get credit.
That's how it goes.
Won't get credit. That's all I hear.
You'll get the credit for the W. Yes.
No, we won't, because you just said you won't get credit.
Will you get a win in the win column?
Oh, I know we'll get a win.
So you get the W. Like,
I'll be happy
that's fine.
about the win,
But don't come in
we
here
won't-
bragging.
we
We beat
won't
the
get-
Bengals. You didn't beat the Bengals.
That's
But
my
you beat the
point.
Bengals.
Speaking of credit, though,
That's my point.
if
But if we lose to said Bengals team,
I will laugh at you because you shouldn't lose to that Bengal team.
Exactly.
That's a Bengal team you should not lose
Can't
to.
win. Can't win.
but
You do win because you get a W if you win.
Can't win.
But if you
We
lose to
beat
this
'em,
Bengals team,
it
that's
wasn't that
crazy.
good. We lose to them. You should have lost to them because they
You shouldn't have lost to that Bengals team, and you should beat this team.
can't win. That's all I need to know.
Any team that's playing their backup quarterback, you should beat them. You should beat them.
Bang, bang, bang.
All
Shit
the
like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
boy starting at where they won games, they shouldn't have lost to that team. You shouldn't have. You should not lose to a team playing the backup.
speaking of credit, though, I know somebody in some team that got credit recently. Nick Saban comes out and says somebody is a really, really great coach. And at first, I couldn't believe what I read because Mr. Rat Poison himself is usually very quiet about other coaches and other teams. But something's brewing. Something we haven't seen in my life. I mean, I know in my life, I haven't seen this much hype on a team and a coach in a long time. Never in Colorado have I seen that.
You might as well cue it up, Dylan. He's taken over the hosting duties. As we were transitioning to college. Them Colorado
We come.
Buffaloes.
We come.
They played
Saturday
themselves
night,
a game.
We come.
they had a game. They was in a dog fight on Saturday
If you
We-
would have told me 10 years ago that I would have stayed up till 2:30 in the morning watching Colorado
versus
Like Colorado State.
State.
I would have told you you were fucking crazy. What the fuck am I doing up watching Colorado versus Colorado State?
We coming.
And what a game this was.
That boy was in
And
the game
They knock out Travis Hunter in the first half, lacerated
on a
liver.
dirty play.
That kid's a fucking piece of shit. Fuck him. Because this whole game, Colorado State was just, they didn't come to play football. They came to fight.
Mm-hmm.
This whole game. And Shiloh Sanders on the defensive side of the ball did everything that he possibly could have done to keep them in this game because he had a pick six and a forced fumble. Played himself a fucking game because the offense in the first half was dog shit. But then Shador gets the ball on like the 2-yard line. 98 yards to go. Drives no fucking problem. Just like composure, poise, like he's been there. Like he's built like that because he fucking is. And everybody told me, Shador's not going to do nothing on a Power 5 school. Yeah, I watched him do this at Jackson State. Like, I know this is him. There's a reason why he is so far away, so much better than every quarterback who plays at HBCU. Because he's a legitimate quarterback. They just get athletes to play quarterback at most HBCUs. They don't get actual legitimate quarterbacks. And
he's
Prime
not
tried showing them
not
all
just
the
a
way.
legitimate quarterback.
Huh?
He's not just a legitimate quarterback. His goddamn QB coach / mentor
That
is
eight.
Tom Brady.
Bang, bang.
Like, he's
Shit like that,
as
shit
legit
like
as
that,
they
shit like
come.
that, shit like that.
He is damn near, out of all my years watching football, one of the best QB prospects I think I've ever watched. Because not very often do you get a guy who just looks like he's in complete control of the offense like that, where it's like, I'm going to progress through all my reads and make the right throw. It's usually I'm in the flow of the offense. I'm doing what I'm told. I'm going to hit the first read and I'm going. He sits there, sits in the pocket and waits. He waits for plays to develop. He has anticipation, great pocket awareness. He has everything.
Luck was like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like Trevor was like
Trevor
that. Luck was like that.
I've
Trevor
seen
was like that.
quarterbacks like that. Deshaun was like that.
There's a
Deshaun was
few.
like
There's
that.
not many though. Not many out of all the college football that we watch. How many of these guys are legitimate NFL players? Not a lot. There's not a lot of quarterbacks that play in the college that are legitimate NFL guys.
I mean, I don't know what you mean. I don't know how you're.
Like compared to how somebody plays quarterback, pro style ready quarterback, there's not a lot of guys like that.
Well, not a lot of teams in college run a pro style offense.
Like even if you take a look at the quarterback,
There it is.
the quarterbacks that have gotten drafted
There
recently.
it is. He's done, folks. The punishment is over.
Bang, bang.
Shit like
If
that,
you
shit like that,
compare
shit like that.
the way Shador Sanders plays quarterback to every quarterback taken in the NFL draft over the last 3 years, there's only one quarterback you take over him, and it's Trevor. He's the only one. Shador Sanders is the best quarterback in any of these last drafts because he plays in the pocket. He knows how to read a defense. He knows his first, second, third read. He knows what the offensive line is supposed to be doing. He waits. He understands what's supposed to happen. None of these other guys, like Bryce Young didn't do that at Alabama. Bryce Young could have sat back there and just chucked it up, and one of those Bugattis was going to catch it.
Tua was pretty good.
Tua was pretty good, but I don't think he's as good as Shador is. And Herbert wasn't good until his last year, and then until his junior year. And even at that point, he was just kind of slinging, just throwing the ball deep, just waiting for somebody to go get it. It did, and he doesn't play defenses in the Pac-12.
Stroud was also good.
Herbert was pretty good at Oregon too.
Stroud, my problem with Stroud is exactly what I'm seeing now. Where Stroud, if you take away his first read, he doesn't know what he's doing, and then he kind of rolls out and is trying to wait. Right?
Herbert
Doesn't really know what the fuck he's doing. Herbert just launched. Herbert had a nasty arm, but he didn't sit there and have to be quarterback because he also ran a lot too at college.
He did run. He was in Oregon. That's fun.
Yeah, he was in Oregon. And again, you don't really sit there and play like that's why it's so refreshing to watch Shador play because you don't get to see the pro style quarterback just sit there and like, all right, cool, read, go. It's usually all right, read option, hit my first read, then I'm running, or I'm just gonna chuck it up deep and hope somebody gets it. He literally surgically slices and dices you up.
Tom Brady is his mentor.
I know. That's why it's like it's so different than what I've seen. So different than what I've seen because you don't get this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I still personally believe that if he wins a Heisman, when they do the evaluations, people are going to realize the same thing you're saying. And I think because Caleb has a little bit of a backyard play to him, I wouldn't be surprised if Shador, after all the interviews and everything, and they've run the tape, that he's the guy that's going to be going number one. And in my heart of hearts, I just don't think that Deion is going to let his son stay another year knowing he's going to be the number one overall quarterback.
I think so because he's not. I think the Caleb Kool-Aid's already been drunk.
I don't know.
Caleb's already in. And
if they go and beat Oregon, and then they go beat USC after that, I'm telling you, if they go they beat Oregon and USC in back-to-back weeks.
Well, I said this in the chat. If they beat Oregon and USC back-to-back weeks, I'm on the national championship train. They're going. They're going. I'm going to be sold. I'm on it. All the shit's on the table.
I'm already on this Buffs train, but I can't do the natty thing.
The only team that could beat them that would be left would be Utah.
I don't think, but once they get past the hard part of their schedule, it's going to be like, okay, cool. Let's say they win the Pac-12, right? Because they'll have to play USC again.
Yes.
They'll have to play USC again. That game is going to be ridiculously difficult. And then once you pull them out of the Pac-12 and you have to put them against a Big Ten or the SEC, they're not built to play those guys.
But you know when that will happen? In the tournament. I don't care.
In the playoff. If they can get in the playoff.
They're there.
If they can get in the playoff. But that's why I don't think Shador's going to go anywhere. That's why I don't think Shador is going to go anywhere.
If I think the only way he comes out is if he's a number 1 overall pick.
I still don't
think-
even think because he doesn't need to. There's
I
no.
think he's the number 1 overall pick. He's
He has nothing. I feel like he has nothing else to accomplish in college. He's
Unless
already
he wants to accomplish something.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, he has the money. He has a support system. He's already done something that not many people have done. He's gone from an HBCU, taking an actual like NCAA college team, like a power the Pac, Colorado,
Power 5, Pac-12.
Yeah, like he's taking one of those teams possibly to the playoffs. He would win the Heisman. I think for him to be number 1, he would have to win the Heisman or get very close. But I mean, if he does that,
well, now you go next year. They're in the Big 12. They change conferences. They go back to the Big 12 from what it is. Now you go from being in the Pac-12, which after this year is going to be dissolved. The Pac-12 is not going to exist anymore.
Yes, we're going to be done.
They're going to the Big 12 where they could absolutely dominate the Big 12 because Texas is leaving. Texas is SEC next year. And so is Oklahoma. Oklahoma's gone. They dominate the Big 12 and they guarantee themselves another run at the playoffs and another run at potentially the national championship. You get to stay around with your number 1 receiver / best friend, Travis Hunter. You get to go out together because if Shador locks in that number 1 spot and then plays well again next year, it's a no doubt or no brainer, right?
I just don't think that he passes up that opportunity.
Unless he wants to win a natty with his dad.
I mean,
that's the one thing you can't take away.
That's the only thing. And I think
he wants to see it out with his dad. That's the only thing I can think of it being. Because I think Shiloh is going to use his COVID eligibility to stay 1 more year because he's done.
I think Shiloh stays. But
Shiloh couldn't get drafted regardless. But he's gonna. I think since he was playing during COVID, he got another year of eligibility because he's a senior. So he would got 1 more year to play.
I just think Shador has a chance to do something. I mean, being the number 1 overall pick after coming from HBCU, basically your dad being your coach, the only thing that he would have to come back for at that point would be a national championship. And
they would have a great shot.
And I don't think that being the number 1 pick would not. You can't tell me like between the national title and being the number 1 overall pick coming from an HBCU.
I tell you could do both.
You know, that's the thing. He'd have to do it this year because I'm telling you, if he finds out that he's in the running, a serious running for number 1 overall pick, national title or no national title, I think he leaves because I think, you know what I'm saying, like his dad is going to sit him down and say, guess what? Like, you may not get this opportunity again. You have to go through a whole nother season. Injuries could happen. Anything could derail him. I think Prime looks at him and says, son, go get it because we didn't even think we'd be here. And Prime will tell you he really believes that, you know, but I don't even think Prime would have believed that his son was going to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft, right?
Nah, Prime would. Prime would tell you that.
I mean, he could say he would. He could tell you that he thought that Shador had the talent. But I don't even think Prime would think that Shador would have been the number 1 overall pick next year.
That's where we differ. I think Prime would be like, yeah, no, it's a problem. No.
Like, did he have the capacity? Yes. But that's why I don't think Prime lets him just walk away from that opportunity. Because you know what? Like, he's going to be the first one out of all the kids to really get a chance to go play in his dad's sport and set the tone for the family going forward. I can't see it. And to have Prime be there after being his coach, be there to watch him become possibly the number 1 overall pick in the draft. I don't think the family lets that happen, man. I don't think the family passes that up.
I think Shador doesn't want to go yet. I think Shador will see it as unfinished business.
I also think that the crop of recruits that are going to come to Colorado next year is going to surprise a lot of people. And don't be surprised if one of the top 3 quarterbacks from the nation are going to flip and go to Colorado. And that's why I think that he's going to leave too.
It depends. That's why I don't think it would happen because the top 3 quarterbacks are all ready to go to the NFL. They're all done.
No, I'm talking about the recruits from high school.
Yeah. No, I think they're going to get 5-star recruits up and down, and then you're going to get some serious defensive players switching schools.
Yeah, and
especially because Warren Sapp is joining their coaching staff
and the transfer portal. and the transfer portal.
Yeah,
There's
they're
gonna be
gonna.
a lot of influx of people in there, and I think when it's all said and done, I don't think you're gonna look back and say, man, Shador left. What's gonna happen? I think you're gonna leave like, you know what? They're in good hands. They're in
And
good
But I
hands.
also think, Shador will stay once he sees like elite level talent come to play defense. I think they'll be like, oh, shot. We got a shot because listen, these SEC teams are losing their grip on college football. They're still going through the old school like recruit. They're not using the NIL money. They're not using the transfer portal. They're losing out on a lot of these guys. And Prime, that's how Prime does it.
I don't know. 'Cause
That's how Prime does it.
Prime also had a bunch of talent on his team, and he left as soon as he really got a chance as well too. So I don't think Prime lets his son stay around just for the sake of talent, because that Florida State team didn't lack talent though.
No, it's different. It's much different. Prime was already making money playing baseball, so he already got a hint of what money was like.
And Shador's making money right now with the
Shador's making
NILs.
money and comes from money. I don't
And
think
it comes
it
from
makes
money.
a difference
That's what I'm trying to say. It's even more. It's an even better situation
because you're not doing it for the
Prime
money.
had.
You're doing it because you love to play the game.
but
You know.
he also likes that status, that clout. If he's gonna be number one and he can put that into his name, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be
Tom
hard.
Brady-
It'll be hard, but
He has to go.
I truly
Brady's
believe
gonna go.
Shador goes nowhere.
Tom
I
Brady
think Shador
He might
sees
not be
this
number
out.
one. He might not be number
He might
one.
not be number one. If he is number one, I still think him. I still think Prime. I think his family. I think Tom Brady even calls him and says, "This is what you have to take this. You have to do this." And I think Tom Brady is going to literally be in his ear every single day that he's a pro. He's gonna. You talk about people who have fathers that are Hall of Famers and everything like that. Tom Brady has nothing better to do. His kids are too young, and right now he's over here having FaceTime calls with Shador, telling him he needs to get his ass into the film room. I'm telling you, Tom Brady's going to be in his ear. He's going to show up to his games. He's going to be in his ear.
I'm waiting for Tom Brady to show up playing.
Day. Every single. Don't be surprised if Tom Brady's at his draft party too. It's going to be every single day, and I think the league's going to be like, "Holy crap! This guy not only has the goods, this guy is literally going to have. He's going to have an honorary coach with him that the team is not going to have to worry about. They're going to have a QB coach. They're going to have Tom Brady knowing that he's going to be talking to them. There's going to be all these type of shenanigans, you know what I'm saying, where, you're going to see some funny stuff happening, man. You don't be surprised. Don't be surprised, right? Don't be surprised if he lands in a place, you know what I'm saying?
And I'm going to tell you the same thing. Don't be surprised if he returns to Boulder.
All right.
I'm telling you, man. It hits different when you can reach success with your dad.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not.
And I think I think that matters more to Shador than anybody gives credit to.
Shout out to Shador for walking to the coach's handshake with Prime too, just to let Norvell know what was said. What was said?
Yeah.
Oh,
He was there to keep him, to separate him.
I saw that.
Shador's the real deal, man. I'm getting tired. I love seeing all these pundits who are talking shit beforehand, like
trying to
eat all
hide
their
their
words
racism.
now.
They're trying to hide their racism because they hate,
especially those Nebraska folk. I saw this clip from this Nebraska podcast, and they're like, people are going to be really like shutting down this Colorado stuff when they start 0-6 because they got their JUCO quarterback. And I was like, wow. Calling him a JUCO quarterback? That's crazy.
Now, but you wish you had that.
Dumb as hell now that they're ranked and they got every major like college sports show trying to follow them around the country. College Game Day changed their plans to make sure they were at Boulder.
Yeah. College Game Day is having probably some of the highest ratings right now in the long.
It was the fifth highest ranked.
Has been in Boulder the last 3 weeks.
Saturday was the 5th highest watched college football game ever. Period.
I'm telling you.
Period.
We talk about Tebow Mania. We talk about that USC team. We talked about Vince Young in Texas. I'm telling you, man.
So let's do it. Let's put it out here. I mean, who's going on record picking them to beat Oregon this week?
I'll choose
Me.
him. I'll choose him.
I'm putting them on record to beat Oregon.
Outright or with the spread?
Outright.
Spread.
I'll do outright.
21.
Let me take a look what the spread is.
21. Last time I saw it was 20.
They're 21. They're 21 point favorites, or
no? They're 20 and a half point underdogs.
They're 20 and a half dogs.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think Oregon's that much better than them, and I
also don't think Oregon's that much better than them.
I may be putting, I may open an app or two this weekend because I don't think that they're that much better than them.
We're gonna have to have a conversation about that, Mike.
They're 21 point dogs. That's
Told you.
crazy.
Told you.
Give me Colorado plus the points.
That's why I was asking y'all. I didn't know if y'all knew the spread. That's why I was saying.
That's crazy.
Straight up, or are you going with the spread? Because I'm gonna take the spread because I don't think they're gonna.
I'll take plus 21.
But I'll take 21 points.
I'll play 21.
I will take 21 points.
I think Oregon's good. I don't think they're top 10 good.
I think Oregon, the weakness of this Colorado
They've
team
been there together.
Is their defense, and
Bo Nix is good.
And Oregon can score points just
Bo
like
Nix is
Colorado
good.
can.
But I don't think Oregon has a good defense. So this could be a shootout.
Oregon just runs up and down the field.
I think this could be a shootout. However, I will not touch this USC Colorado game. I want no part in it.
Travis Hunter not being there really. So
I want no part of that
Travis
USC.
not playing Raj. So Roz is going to say they're going to win outright. I love it. I love it, Roz. I hope you're right. Me and Dylan are frauds because we were definitely supposed to come on here with sunglasses. And
I gotta order. I'm not gonna come on here with any just sunglasses. I'm getting the prime ones. I'm buying those.
They sold.
I'm buying those.
They sold so many sunglasses.
If you don't think by the time December rolls around, I'm not rolling in here with prime shades and We Comin' shirts, you're crazy. Because I'm a lifelong Colorado Buffalo fan until Deion leaves.
If they beat Oregon and USC, I'm coming on this pod with a cowboy hat.
If they beat Oregon this week,
I promise you.
I'm telling you right now, we're leading the show with college football.
Yeah,
we're leading.
I will bring the college football correspondent on here as well. It was also our other NFL pundit for us to be sitting here just like we coming. We coming.
And I'm telling you right now, like if they beat Oregon, and here's the outrageous take. I have one usually outrageous take in every sport every week. This is the one outrageous take. If they beat, let them beat Oregon by at least 2 touchdowns. People's faces are going to melt.
Yeah,
it's going to be the biggest thing in sports. Period.
I think it already is.
Period. If he comes in, if he without Travis Hunter, they beat that Oregon team soundly, and by soundly for me is by 2 touchdowns or more.
If they go to Oregon and beat that Oregon team by 2 touchdowns or more, they're going to be ranked in the top 8.
I was going to say, if they beat Oregon, they are a top 10 team.
They are going to be ranked in the top 8.
You have to. You just beat a top 10 team.
They're not gonna jump Georgia. They're not gonna jump Michigan. They're not gonna jump Florida State.
Not gonna jump USC.
They're not gonna jump USC. They're not gonna jump Penn State. But after Penn State, if they beat Oregon in Oregon soundly, as Rod said, I could see the number 6 being next to that team, and that would be wild. Wild. Wow.
Yeah, that's a
USC right.
Because
UFC,
Dylan,
UFC
then
right
what happens? Because then what happens is they are ranked 6, and then they play a top 5.
That's what I'm about to say. USC is right after that.
And then you know what happens, Roz? They're knocking on Florida State's door.
Well, they would still have to jump Notre Dame, Ohio State.
Notre Dame, that's the other team I missed.
Notre Dame, Ohio State.
They would hop Notre Dame. Notre Dame ain't play nobody yet.
Yeah, but they'd also hop Ohio State because Ohio State's currently 6th.
My heart.
if
nothing will
these
warm my heart
stars line up
if
and they
And then
beat
USC is
Oregon and USC, they're going to take you. They're going to take Florida State's 3 spot.
I mean,
What do you mean
happens
how?
to
They
Florida State?
beat 2 top 10 teams. That's how.
Back-to-back weeks.
So Florida State would be what then?
4.
They would probably, well, it depends.
What I mean depends on how
Depends on what everybody else does in
what
those
Penn
2 weeks.
State does, because Penn State is also right there, but nobody's
But
talking about Penn State.
If
But Penn State
Colorado
on
were to
the
beat
low is
the
really good.
10 rank and the 5 rank, they would have to take Florida State's spot. You would have to make them top 3. Because name another team that's beat 2 top 10 teams.
But I will tell you this: the
There's
best
been
thing
no other.
to me is if they meet in the playoffs, because that would be fantastic. That's a Cinderella story. Prime going to meet Florida State in the playoffs.
That would be doom for FSU. Doom.
That
Doom.
would literally,
They can't lose the game. That's Yankees Mets. You can't lose.
No, that's worse than
can't
Yankees Mets because Prime has legit beef with FSU.
yes,
That would on FSU side. You can't lose.
that would be
You
one of
can't lose that
the
game.
most watched. That'd be one of the most watched
It'd
college
be
football
it would definitely be one of the most watched games
Ever.
ever.
ever. The narratives there are just crazy across the board. Prime not getting the job. Prime being, one
Prime
of the
beefing with Florida State, not
ever.
even mentioning the name.
Refusing to acknowledge that he went there.
Listen, man. That would be must-watch TV. And I love Prime, but we not coming during that game at that game.
Don't worry, Roz. We don't got to worry about that. We'll all be here.
The
whole pod.
Anyway, you got something for you anyway. Don't you worry.
I'm gonna have to pull out all the gear because I've been chilling. I didn't pull out my gear yet. I didn't pull out the shirts. I didn't pull out the hats. I've been real calm.
He's not lying, Dylan. He does have this.
I'm being real calm, right? You guys seen glimpses. You see glimpses, right? Like I had it ready. I had the AFC Championship jacket. Last time we won the AFC Championship.
He has a hideous Florida State hat that I don't like.
Yep. I also have the Jets AFC Championship jacket. It's on ice.
And it's gonna stay in that freezer.
All right. Listen, man. There's a few things that open up. It's time, man.
But you was gonna crack that bad boy open, didn't you? You thought you was gonna break that bad boy out this year, didn't you?
Yep. Yes, I did. The Yankees still won't let me bring back the gear I have from the Subway Series because it is what it is. But we got some stuff. We got some surprise gear. I would love to bust out. Can't do it yet.
I can't wait to roll up in here with these Deion shades. Ain't hard to find.
I think this is a good point for us. I mean, Roz took us off the NFL because we still had to talk about Justin Fields. But since we went to Prime, we'll come back to we'll do fantasy. We'll pause it right here and we'll do fantasy focus right now. All right, and we are going to keep this train moving. It's time for one of our favorite segments here on the show. It is time for fantasy focus, presented by Total Mortgage. Mike Ortiz at Total Mortgage. Another week. This week did not go so good for your host. He did.
You took a nasty L.
A lot of this week.
You took a nasty L to the person you probably shouldn't take a nasty L to.
His losing to Anthony doesn't bother me though because it literally took Nick Chubb's leg exploding. And I think my defense also was like horrible. Let me pull up. You got it up. I'm gonna pull it up.
You want to pull up your the matchups?
Yeah, I got
or your
it.
scores. Okay, perfect.
I got it. So yeah, it took Nick Chubb's leg exploding. And Well,
Brees Hall getting 4 carries.
Bruce Hall getting no touches.
Jerry Judy only got 3 catches too, I think.
Jerry Judy.
Deshaun Watson sucked.
Like, it took all of that. Mind
You got a
you,
lot going against you.
Brandon Cooks also got hurt because he's actually who I would have started instead of Brees. So, it's just a perfect storm for him. Tyreek.
I don't know. You left
He
12
had-
points on your bench.
He had Zay.
And your kicker.
I mean, it's.
Oh, man. Let's go to the Sin City Seepers.
Yeah, I mean, if I switch kickers that Dylan says doesn't matter, I do win.
They really don't.
Yeah, I win, though.
No, you didn't. You would still be down. If you switch kickers, you get 7 more points.
If I had started Kirk Cousins, I would have won.
Yes, there you go.
And that's what stings.
That's how I feel in my other league.
Start Kirk Cousins, I win.
That sucks. Meanwhile, the all-time highest scoring game in fantasy fucking football history, when I shit you not telling you I lost by 0.9 points.
Lost by 0.9.
All because they took a point away from the Steelers defense. I'm furious that I lost. Now I have the highest points for in this fucking thing. I've scored more points than literally everybody in this fucking league, and I'm 1-1.
1-1.
It's fucking dog shit.
But
God.
let's go. Let's go to Dylan's our favorite part in the Josh Thomas Fantasy League. The team that is in last place right now is our sponsor, Mike Ortiz.
That it is.
Flirting with Mike Ortiz, and Dylan's favorite trending fantasy trends has Dylan at it has V at number 1, tied with Dylan. Roz is considered technically number 2, even though that's really third. Anthony is now 4th. Blackheart 5th. Stevens, I'm 7th. Then Steven's higher than me. I don't know how he's higher than me. He's still
Projections, sir.
No, my projection right now is 8th.
Mine went from 1st to 6th.
Which is wild.
Because I lost. Meanwhile, again, highest points for.
Lee is projected first. Rod's right now is projected to finish second. Right? I don't know if you know this.
These are the breaks, man.
Don't worry. Next week is going to be completely different.
These are the breaks.
I'm just big trending down.
Next week we have the Barretto Bowl, which is always fun.
We love it. We love a Barretto Bowl. We love a Barretto Bowl. Steven, eat a dick. We're here.
I know nothing would make Dylan happier than to make him fall
to bury that piece of shit.
0-3, that's a tough hole.
Don't worry, he's gonna need some help because Joe Burrow is his quarterback. Who's his backup? He has Kenny Pickett as his backup against the Raiders, so he'll be all right. He'll be all right.
There's a subtle shot at Anthony.
Raiders suck. I see he's went and benched the Raider tight end because they don't throw him the football.
They don't throw him the football. Christian Kirk has done nothing.
Chris Kirk had a good week last week.
What did he do last week?
I think he had like 15.
I feel like I haven't.
No, he had 20. He had 22.
He had 22 points.
Yeah, 21.96.
I haven't heard his name all.
Well, no touchdowns were scored in that game for the Jags. He just caught a bunch of balls. Caught everything. Like he had Nico Collins, Christian Kirk, CeeDee Lamb. Like ETN didn't do anything. Jamar Chase that hurt him. Those guys. Oh boy. And if you would have played the Chiefs defense, because why would you play the Chiefs defense against the Jags? Like it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And he used that logic.
But he played the Bengals defense Or is that next week?
No, that was last week. Yeah, for week 2.
No, the Bengals. No, the Bengals played.
I guess
the Ravens.
Baltimore. Yeah, so I guess he fared. The Bengals would do better because he thought that I thought this game was going to be a shootout. I really thought that game was going to be a shootout.
I thought the Bengals Ravens was going to be a shootout.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be or Trevor Lawrence and fucking Pat Mahomes are going to have like 340 each and like 3 touchdowns. But nope, didn't happen.
Not the way the cookie crumbles. Just a flash for me and Raj in our other league that we're in together. I lost again at another league. Raj, I think, won.
I lost this time.
Oh, yep, you did lose. But you're getting basically a bye week since you're playing Terrell's team. I'm playing my dad, so who knows? But yeah, we will keep you abreast. This fantasy focus segment will be getting bigger because in about my birthday, in about 2 or 3 weeks, we'll have fantasy basketball up here, and that will be
yes, sir,
fun too. And then James will be back because he doesn't do football, so he's next.
So, or have we talked more about my proposal for fantasy basketball? Or thought about my proposal for doing the bids for the draft?
Oh no, you can explain it to Raz if you want.
Oh, Raz, I don't know. When doing your fantasy draft, have you ever heard of doing the bidding for your players? So each GM gets a certain amount of money for their team, and then you put players up for auction.
Yes.
To do that, I propose that as our way to draft. So instead of just picking 1 through 10 and I pick Giannis and Jokic and blah blah blah, it's all right. Whoever has the first pick picks a player that we start fighting over, and your strategy is literally just try to get rid of all the players that you're not sure you want yet, and then like save your money to do stuff like that.
That's
chaos.
Yeah, that's definitely a format. I definitely heard of that.
I've done that every basketball draft I've done. All right, see ya, Russ. Anyway, every basketball draft I've done has done that, and it's been hilarious. He's back.
That was weird.
Every basketball draft I've done has done that, and it's been hilarious and a great time. So it's way to just stir the pot and cause chaos. We love chaos.
Completely against it, but this podcast is very petty again. I don't know if I want to be a part of that.
We love petty. Coach Prime, I'm trying to be like Coach Prime. I'm trying to achieve a level of petty that he operates on a daily basis. So let's bring it to fantasy basketball. I will pitch this every week until we get to the point.
I mean, all you have to do is get the majority rules around here, these parts.
I know Anthony's going to be like, nope, don't want to do it. Nope. Loser.
James was 50-50.
Because he knows I love chaos, and he may not want to do that because right now we're currently not friends. Because he injured my quarterback.
Base God, Breezy.
He'll never get one of those off again. I'll kick him off.
Base God, Breezy.
Kick him off. He's done too much.
As soon as you hear him say, but what if?
In what world?
In what world? Time to go.
Nope. Fuck off.
Time to go. Oh, excuse me. Well, that was this week's Fantasy Focus brought to you by Total Mortgage. My proceeds in Total Mortgage. I guess we'll bring the logo back up. Didn't see it. That's cool. So let's dive back into this football real quick before we finish the night off with some baseball. Two things popped off at the time we're filming this. This is Wednesday. 2 stories popped off out of nowhere today. the Rams trading Cam Akers to the Vikings for essentially a bag of chips, and and Justin Fields saying that he's being. I do have the clip because I don't want to paraphrase what he said.
Robotic.
What do you think the cost you to do so much?
Could be coaching.
When you say thinking less, what do you
Tough. Tough. That sucks. But
Give context.
you can't
Yeah.
do that.
So I was curious. I was going to ask y'all, how did y'all take his comments? Because as you can imagine, social media blew up when they saw that, and he's basically being called, he's through the coaches under the bus. He's admitting that he doesn't know what he's doing.
The Bears are cooked. That's why I took it. The Bears are cooked.
It sucks because Ryan Poles and those guys did such a good job this offseason.
The GM.
They did such a good job doing all the moves you're supposed to do. And they've come out so flat. Fields looks lost completely on the field.
The Bears are cooked.
They look terrible. They look like the team that just had the number 1 pick in the draft. Even after all the money they spent and all the improvements they made to their roster, they look like dog shit. Their offensive coordinator sucks. Like, their offensive line sucks. Their defensive coordinator has been away from the team and has just officially stepped away today.
He resigned because he's got personal issues going on. So whatever it is that made him resign, I wish him the best, because you don't just resign these jobs unless it's real. So I don't know what's happening, but I wish him the best. But
they're in trouble, man. They're in trouble.
I agree. But to your point, Dylan, to me, the Bears look like a team that had the number 1 pick last year.
Yeah.
Like, that just doesn't flip in 1 year. They did spend money, but I didn't think his comments were that bad. I'm actually surprised because I thought you would have liked what he said, because to me when you listen to his entire interview, his whole press conference, he was taking accountability for everything.
Up until that point.
He said it was he got asked that. He took accountability for everything, and
He
that
did.
was a follow-up question to what he said about himself not going through his reads and not getting the ball out when he should because he's thinking too much. And then the reporter asked him, "Why do you think you're being so robotic?" And he said, "Could be coaching." He could have phrased that better. That one, I wouldn't. But I don't think he's wrong. Like, when you look
I also don't think he's wrong, but you can't say that.
You can't say it. That's the problem. And it's two different things, because you can't say it. But I don't think he's wrong. He looks like someone that they're just feeding him all of this information. They're making him think too much instead of just go play. Like, you're talented. Here's what they're trying to do. This is how you beat it. Go. Instead of telling him, don't do this, don't do that. Make sure you stay up like this. Make sure you check 1, 2, 3. He's thinking everything that he's doing, and you can tell it's making him predictable and stale. It's just, he's not. The only time Justin Fields looks comfortable, to Rod's favorite thing was he never throws the ball. It's when he's running for his life. That's the only time you see him make spectacular plays and look amazing, is when he has to run for his life and just make something out of nothing. So I completely agree, Dylan. You can't, especially being the quarterback, you're the face of the team. You can't say, regardless of if it's right, you can't throw your coach under the bus like that.
So I'm going to do a callback to about last year this time, where I said something along the lines of, this is a new regime in Chicago. Do you think they give a fuck about Justin Fields? And do you think they're coaching against him to see if he can kind of figure his way out? To see if they're going to hold on to him? And here we are, where Justin Fields doesn't look great. We're a whole year later now. He still looks like he's struggling. And it looks like a team that gave him his chance and are looking like this is your last chance or we're moving on from you because we didn't draft you. The coach didn't pick you. None of us here did anything for you. Like, you're here because we inherited you and we may have something. If you don't have anything for us, we'll move on. And here we are. There's no loyalty in sports. The guys, when you have a new regime, they will move on as fast as they fucking can to do so. And I think that's what's happening here with Fields because Bears fans bought all the way in. We got all this hype in the preseason where people were saying, oh, we're expecting a Jalen Hurts type of leap for Justin Fields. Where?
Well,
Like, where is that supposed to come from, right? And we're at the point where Bears fans have started to turn on him. That's bad because Bears fans were the biggest supporters of this motherfucker. They went in and were like, we have our guy. And like they saw enough where it's like, you know what? We were bad. Fields had flashes. They won some games. You had the number 1 pick in the draft. But like they saw enough to be like, yo, this guy, if he has the stuff around him, can be the guy. And immediately, like after week 1, it was like, oh boy, okay. And then after Sunday, they're like, oh shit, he sucks.
I don't think he sucks.
That's what I'm saying. What Bears fans said, like, we're like, yo, it's the same thing. The Bears, if there's ever been a franchise more cursed with quarterbacks than the Jets or the Browns, it's the Bears.
They would be number 3.
It would be the Bears. The Bears haven't had anybody since Jim McMahon. At least the Jets have had like some quarterbacks who could like make the playoffs and like do that stuff.
They had
Cutler sucked. Sexy
Trubisky.
Rexy sucked.
He got Sexy Rexy got to the Super Bowl.
He did, but he was bad. That was much more so a, hey, that Bears defense was awesome.
But to your point, Dylan, you know what actually to me is funny and sad at the same time? I think the Bears have been more cursed coaching-wise than they've been. But because they've had talent on that team.
They've had talent, yes.
They have not had a good head coach in Chicago since Lovie Smith left.
I was about to say, since Lovie, right?
Since Lovie left, they have not had a good coach. Everyone they bring in can't coach. This coach that they have right now looks like he can't coach.
Matt Eberflus cannot coach.
So, like,
he shouldn't have gotten this job.
It's tough.
You need to be thick-skinned to coach Chicago. Chicago's one of those cities where they love you. You're all they got.
It's tough because I watched it. I'm a big Justin Fields. He does not look good, but then again, Chase is
Claypool,
he's acting like an idiot right now.
He balled out on Sunday. He played great.
He had a good game and he caught a big touchdown. Finally,
yeah.
They still have no offensive line whatsoever.
None, and they addressed it.
And it's still god awful.
It's like the Bengals. The Bengals offensive line's dog shit, yet spend all this money on it.
The play calling is weird. Like, it doesn't make sense.
And Fields holds onto the ball too damn long.
Like it's just a perfect storm. I still see the flashes, and like I said, I understand that he has not played good, but I wouldn't throw him out yet because when I still look at everything around him, I'm like, this is what the Bears' options are, right? You suck and you go and get another option, or you keep him, you fire the staff, you give him another new offensive coordinator, and then he's a rookie in a new system all over again. That's why I think they're going to get rid of him, because for the franchise, he's got to go somewhere and be a backup. I think he's going to take. It's going to be he's turning into Baker Mayfield all over again. He's going to go to another team. He's going to start immediately, and then do that. There's a few teams he would start immediately. Yeah, but you could make the argument that he could start, but should he? That's the difference. Because like I said, we still don't know. Based off the Fields that I know, I wouldn't start him. Not right now. He's not ready yet. He could out-athlete a lot of these guys and out-athlete you to like 2 to 3 wins, but he's not going to out-quarterback you to those wins.
and he needs to learn how to play the position at a high level.
I give you this: if you drop Justin Fields, they're the worst team in football. But I think Justin Fields would make Arizona better because they have, like, it's just so awful. It's so awful in Chicago.
I don't know, because there's more talent in Chicago than there is in Arizona.
Sean McVay wouldn't be able to do something with Justin Fields?
Yes, but I think Sean McVay would rather him sit.
Yes.
And actually learn.
They have Matt.
No, I'm saying if Sean McVay were to get his hands on him, I think he'd want to bring in a veteran with him.
I don't know. I think he could do something. You tell me Philly wouldn't be able to do something with him?
As a backup, yeah, because then he could learn for what Hurts does.
Ideally,
if I'm Philly, I would love to bring in Fields.
As a starter.
No.
If he was the starter, you don't think Sean McVay could do anything with Justin Fields?
I think he would make it work. He would make it simple enough for Fields to do it, but it's a little bit different when you go from a quarterback who's been playing in the NFL since 2008 to a guy who's been the quarterback for 3 years in the NFL with a completely different skill set.
There's no way.
Like it's not saying starting with, let's say Stafford retires, right? And then Fields has to go and step in and do it. I think McVay would prefer to have a vet than Fields right now. Or if he were to bring in Fields, he would want Fields to sit and help him more behind the scenes so that when his opportunity comes, he could step in and be the guy. That's usually how those type of coaches are. Like Pat Mahomes comes in, he has Alex Smith in front of him. Pat Mahomes getting drafted was already like kind of better than Alex Smith was, but he still sat to learn the game from a vet and to learn a system from a Hall of Fame coach. Those are the things you do.
Well, that's how the NFL used to be, and
that's how it used to be all the time. Then everybody had these flashes of rookies coming
all
in
the time, and then everybody just fell in love.
And then here
rookies.
Comes Andrew Luck, and he fucks up the game for everybody because he was awesome right away.
And all of a sudden,
so now every rookie quarterback had to start right away.
Has to start right now, and
that's just an anomaly. It doesn't happen.
Doesn't make sense. But what you're telling me is you think he stinks. You're telling me he's no better than a backup. You think he stinks?
I think he's broken, and I think he needs to be fixed. The same way Zach is broken and needs to be fixed.
No. Either one of those.
Can they be fixed? Who knows? But I think they would fare better being backups right now than starting.
Justin Fields.
We know that for Zach, because Zach, we know for damn well, shouldn't be on the field yet. He should have. He's not supposed to be playing right now. This is supposed to be Aaron Rodgers playing. So, like, this is just a circumstance that we have where Justin right now could definitely, like, learn from sitting and not being thrust upon this bad situation. He would fare very well with a veteran in there right now, fighting over adversity in a different way to show him how to quarterback through these situations than just dealing with it the way he's dealing with it and holding onto the ball too long or throwing interceptions. But he could be rolling out, just hitting the check down when it's there, throwing the ball out of bounds. All these different situations you just learn. It's much different than when your coach tells you something than when like the guy who's playing the same position as you is telling you the same thing.
Justin Fields, it's not a good quarterback.
Fields looks cooked. He looks cooked. But I think he would fare very well from being a backup right now. And then earn the job back.
I think he would fare well from better coaching and a competent offensive line.
That's asking for a whole other year.
Then we could probably see what he's got.
The problem is you're giving him time that he doesn't have in order to get that. But again, new regime. They're going to want to bring in their guys.
So that being said, I don't know who the Bears play this week. Will they
play? The Chiefs.
Yeah, so they're going to go 0-3.
Chiefs going to drop 40.
They're going to go 0-3. So
they may go 0-4. Then they have the Broncos.
They could go 0-4.
They could also go 0-5 because they have the Commanders.
they're going to split the Broncos Commanders.
I don't know. The Commanders are a solid football
They're
team.
not. They're not.
They're a solid football team.
Smoking mirrors. They're
The
not.
Commanders are good enough to beat the Bears. I don't want to hear
Yeah.
none of that.
They're good enough to beat the Bears. That's why I said they could split it. They could easily beat the Commanders. They could lose to the Commanders. They could beat the Broncos, but they could lose to the Broncos. So the odds will tell you that they're going to,
Especially if it's this healthy Commanders defense, because the Commanders defense is good. I like their defense. Jonathan Allen, Chase Young, what?
Don't let Anthony hear you giving the Commanders credit.
Well, the Commanders look at the teams they're playing right now. They're feasting on this bad schedule. Might as well.
They're not that good.
It looks like the second half of their schedule is gonna be brutal. Because if they're facing all these like iffy teams now, their back half is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
It's gonna be crazy. They're probably gonna have the Eagles, Cowboys in a 4-game stretch. Eagles, Cowboys, Bills, Eagles, Cowboys.
Like, the Commanders are just—it's nice, it's cute right now, but like, no, they're not that good. They're tied for first in the NFC. This is wild to me. Yeah, I've got this schedule up right now. Yeah,
They have a rough stretch.
Murderers Row. They're playing Buffalo this.
Yeah, then they got the Bears. So listen to this. So they
They're
have
playing Buffalo, Philly, the Bears, Atlanta.
And then here comes all their tough games
Then
at
here
once.
comes the train. Giants, Eagles, Patriots, Seattle, Giants, Dallas, Miami. Bye week, Rams, Jets, Niners, Cowboys.
They ain't win another game. They're not winning another game.
So I said, Caleb Williams can turn around and be a Bear. I'm trying to tell you guys, like,
or a Commander.
Or a Commander.
Or
because that stretch of going Dallas, Miami.
It looks like Ron Rivera is getting fired.
He is going to get fired.
He getting fired.
Dallas, Miami, Rams. Listen to these defenses. Dallas, Miami's not a real defense, but Dallas, then Miami's offense, then the Rams, then the Jet defense, then the Niners defense, then the Cowboys defense.
They have 3 of the best 10 defenses in football in the last 3 weeks.
Like, they're lucky they're getting Philly out the way early.
Getting Philly while they're still struggling is the best thing to happen to them.
Buffalo's about to pack them up, though.
Buffalo's gonna run them out of the fucking stadium.
Buffalo's gonna pack them up.
Who knows?
So yeah, Anthony and his little dance. I want an apology. I want an apology about the Commanders. Nah.
Don't worry, Anthony. Who you play and when you play them matters. Because right now it looks real easy playing all these bums. Real easy playing all these bums.
Life is sweet when you play in Arizona.
Just wait till the last 12 games of your season. Oh, man. It's tough to be a Commies fan.
It's a rough life.
It's real rough, honestly, because they're always like a quarterback away too. Like you can see them being a really good team. They just can't find a way to just do what they need to do to get a quarterback. And they had a quarterback and let him walk. They let Kirk Cousins walk
out the door.
Walk out the door. The last time they seen decent quarterback play.
You like that though. You like it.
They like that. So I mean,
yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to say. I don't have any more football topics to talk about. So I guess we can move on to baseball. It is that time of year. It is playoff time, and these playoff races in baseball are getting very interesting. We got about 2 weeks to go.
Mm-hmm.
I would say about 2 weeks, and the NL wild card is the NL wild card. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams within 4.5 games. wild down there in the National League. The American League is pretty much wrapped up. I mean, it's going to be either Texas or Seattle. The Yankees are 8 back, so it's over. But in the National League, the Phillies are the only team that might be safe because they got a 4-game lead. But Arizona, Chicago, Miami, Cincinnati, San Francisco, and even maybe San Diego still flirting with it. Anybody
Reds
want to
ain't
pick?
making it.
Are the Reds not going to make it because you don't think the Reds are going to make it, or because you hate Anthony?
Both.
Ah,
Both could be true.
both can be true.
Remember, leader of the Ellie De La Cruz fan club. They ain't making it.
Well, if we go by Dylan's logic, that would tell you that it's going to be the Cubs and the Diamondbacks because the Cubs are the only team in green, and then everybody else is the plus minus in their differential, which Dylan loves to throw at Anthony. They're all in the red except the Diamondbacks are the closest to the green because they're only minus 16. Even though the Padres are plus 82 and they've won 7 in a row.
Walk off too.
But they're 4.5 back. I don't know if there's enough time left for them. If I had to pick, I think because the Cubs are struggling. Anthony's Reds have a chance. I think the Cubs. I think it's going to be the Phillies, the Cubs, and maybe San Francisco.
Give me Miami.
I would
Give
love
me
for,
Miami. Give
I
me the
would love-
Marlins.
I would love for it to be Miami, but they are under 500 on the road. And
Give me the Marlins. We're rooting for the home team, the old home team. Shout out to the Miami Marlins.
The Marlins are under 500 on the road, Dylan, and their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games are road games.
Doesn't mean I'm not rooting for the Marlins. Your numbers mean nothing to me if I'm just
not what I
blindly
asked
rooting for the Marlins.
I ask you, who's going to do it?
The Marlins are gonna do it.
Okay, so you are, despite the stats, facts.
I'm picking with my heart.
I think it's Philly and Arizona.
I'm picking with my heart.
I think the Cubs picking up a little bit.
The Cubs are trying, but they
Philly,
took
Cubs, and Arizona. I think they're in the skid, but I think they pick it up.
The Marlins deserve it.
I would love to see the Marlins get it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
We're going with South Florida, home of the boy. Fun fact, Roz, I don't know if you know this. My dad tried out for the Marlins when the Marlins first became a team.
That's sick. That's pretty cool.
He tried out. Didn't make it, but he tried out for the Marlins.
That's really cool.
So we're rooting for the Marlins. Back when they were the Florida Marlins, the pinstripe uniforms.
With Florida
Florida Marlins.
Those Florida Marlins jerseys weren't bad either.
Fire. I love those pinstripe uniforms. Those are my MLB The Show uniforms.
Yeah.
Which I properly packed Mike up in.
That's a lie. Viva pays it.
What do you mean that's a lie?
You won 1-0.
And then what happened the next game?
Pitching error.
What happened the next game, Mike?
Pitching error.
So I won 1-0 the first game, and then I proceeded to hit every pitcher Mike had the next game. No problem. Once he didn't throw Pedro out there, was just throwing 103. I was able to hit everything.
Everything's strong. Everything is strong. He still only won by 2 runs.
Because I gave up a fucking 3-run home run in the bottom of the 9th, and I was like, all right, let me stop fucking around.
Clutch gene, that's why.
It doesn't exist.
It does
Clutch gene existed, you would have won.
It does exist.
You would have won.
He was very nervous.
I was not. I said, let me stop fucking around. Let me start throwing these high inside fastballs that he can't hit. And then you proceeded to not hit them. Oh, those was wonderful. It was a good time, Roz. It was great.
I gotta play that game. I still haven't played that. I haven't played the new show.
It was wonderful. We used our Diamond Dynasty teams and got Mike the fuck out of there.
Yeah, you also use your Diamond Dynasty team. Mine is not ready for prime.
You shouldn't have accepted the challenge.
You challenged me. I'm not going to back down.
You shouldn't have accepted it. You could have said, "I'm not ready," and I'm like, "Okay." I didn't even challenge you. It was Anthony. Anthony was like, "Oh, would you guys play the show?" I said, "No." Mike said his Diamond Dynasty team ain't ready yet, and then Mike said, "Oh, challenge! I'm ready right now." I'm like, "Oh, all right. I guess I gotta play."
Challenged me because I definitely remember saying that, unlike Anthony, there's no bitch in me. Those words were said.
Yep. There's no bitch in you. No bitch in your blood.
I would not have said that had you not challenged me.
And then, Roz, what happened is after you played 2 games of the show, I then played Mike and James in 2K.
We played 2K that night?
Yes, we did.
Go ahead with the story. I don't know.
And I packed them both up. Mike missed 1 million free throws. Mike missed 1 million free throws. That was that same night.
I don't remember that.
If Mike didn't miss his free throws, we would have tied. We would go into overtime, but Mike missed every free throw imaginable.
1,000 free throws.
And then James was up on me by like 20. He took that L.
I don't know what James.
He took that L.
I didn't watch that game.
I missed every 3-point shot I took in the first half. James didn't take a lot of threes. He took like 3 threes. I ended up shooting like 40. I shot like 40 threes. I started making them all, and I ended up winning by like 4. And I'm coming back strong. Strong. I was pissed. I did the whole thing where I was just like, everything's going wrong. I just need to make my shots. I just need to make my shots. And then James was like, damn, good game, bro. I was not losing that fucking game. Could not have that be the first time y'all beat me at 2K. No. Moral of the story, Roz, is I haven't lost to them in 2K yet. The only game Mike's beat me at is WWE.
So, in golf.
He did beat us golf, yes. No, that doesn't count. The Hogwarts one?
I won the next one.
Oh, the Hogwarts one you won. The fucking Last of Us one where we couldn't finish. That one was fucking terrible. Never picking another course with that much water ever again.
Yeah, I gotta play golf as well too.
Golf is so much fun.
We have fun playing that. Have fun playing golf. We have a lot. We actually haven't played in like a week.
Yeah, it's been a while. 2K came out, and
I know 2K came out, and it just ruined everything.
2K came out. I've already grinded a second build. I'm ready. I've also been playing fucking what the fuck's this game called? Starfield. Fucking
okay.
That game's so ridiculously good. It's just the random quirky things that happen. Like I'm sitting there in my spaceship, like ready to land another planet, and I get a call from another ship. And it's like, oh, do you want to answer the call? I was like, yeah, sure. So I answer it, and they're like, oh, hey, we're calling about your spaceship's extended warning or your extended warranty. I'm like, no way, this is real.
Like, who decided to put that in the game?
Like, I was like, whoever put that in the game is hilarious. Like, they have a great sense of humor. They're like, hi, we're calling to tell you about your spaceship's extended warranty. So I threatened them. I said, all right, I'm going to come and attack. And then they zipped off into another galaxy once they started shooting at them. They'll be back. They'll be back.
Yeah, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get my hands on that game.
But PC. When you build your PC, there you go.
When I build it.
Or buy it, or whatever you do. There you go.
The games will come.
Game Pass, man.
All right,
it's on Xbox Game Pass.
Let's get this out the way. Let's let everybody know and make sure that they hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Hit that notification button so you know when we go live, so you know when we drop new episodes every week. We're here for you. You can follow us on all the social media platforms. Wherever you get a podcast, we are there. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Twitch, iHeartRadio, you name it, we're on there. We're video episodes on YouTube. We are here. It's now time for Dylan's favorite part of the show. and I already know where he's going with this. But he's not first. Roz is first, and that is I'm him. Roz, let us know who is him this week.
A dejected I'm him. I'd have to be Michael Parsons, man. Michael Parsons is him, and I can see that up close and personal. Uh, the dude is a monster. The dude is a missile. He literally is just
As
fast,
advertised.
fast, strong, smart. Dude has the goods. Um, I've never seen LT play like that, but the way he moves is how I've always heard people describe LT. So, you know, closest thing I've seen, I would think.
And he does it without cocaine. So shout out to you, Mike Parsons.
To be fair, the Booger Sugar was awesome back then. That was some good stuff right there.
uh, Nobody on the booger sugar. No. Dylan, who is him this week? Even though, like I said, I think I know where you're going with this.
I ain't hard to find. I ain't hard to find. We coming. Neon Deion Sanders, primetime himself. That's him. I'm not a monument, or I'm not a moment. I'm a monument. Bar. Deion's the fucking man.
Mm-hmm.
So he might as well just reserve his spot here for my I'm him for the rest of forever. So you might as well. I ain't hard to find.
So I also am picking Dion for my I'm him, but because Dylan did that, I would be remiss if I did not give my I'm her
Yep.
to Brianna Stewart because Stewie was on one
Last night.
last
Yep.
night, leading the Liberty if you're a Liberty fan like me and Dylan,
Thank you.
stressful clinching game. The Liberty have not gotten out of the first round since 2015. There were a couple years before they got Sabrina when they were god awful. If you've been with the Liberty since the start, since me, the Liberty have some heart wrenching playoff losses. And last night to see the Barclays Center alive and on fire, and them girls needed all of it. Stars was in the building. Carmelo, Fat Joe, the Stars was out there. And the Liberty pulled it off. They're advancing. Now, Roz will get to watch some quality women's basketball because tonight, Connecticut scared me for about 2 minutes and then realized, oh, we're better than them. And promptly ran the Minnesota off the court in a deciding game and winner take all game tonight. So Connecticut versus New York. It's lit. New York won all 4 games this season. But when I tell you I watched all 4 of the games, Connecticut is very good and they can shoot. If Connecticut gets hot, the Liberty are going to be in trouble. But the series starts Sunday, so yeah, I'm picking the Liberty. I'm on this train. Liberty Aces. It's on.
That should be some really good basketball when we get to that point. That's gonna be some really good basketball.
We get to Liberty Aces. That's gonna be fun. But Liberty, we're going to Liberty. Brianna Stewart, she had a great game. She came through. Jacqueline Jones clutch in overtime. Brianna Stewart and the New York Liberty, they are her. All right, we are at the end. Yeah, I don't have nothing else. You guys don't have nothing else. All right, Roz, take us home. Take us home.
Yeah, glad to be back. It's about that time. I hope you enjoyed the punishment But definitely want to say I wouldn't do any of these things if it wasn't for you, the viewers. Thank you so much for supporting us. Make sure that you continue to watch and continue to engage with us. We love to hear from you. We love to see, what you like, what you don't like, and also if you enjoy it, please, like and subscribe. But as usual, we're definitely on all podcasts and platforms that you can think of. But hoping for a great sports week coming up. If not, you know what time it is. It's time to crash with Caleb.
_ podcast, Poppy _ on all social media platforms. Thank you for all the listeners. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Appreciate all of you. Yeah, fuck you, Anthony. Just catching strays just because you're not here, and fuck you. And yeah, that's all I got. We coming.
We coming. Yes, thank you to everyone watching. Follow me on all the socials. I am _MJ on all the socials. We're here every week because of you guys. We love all the interactions, everyone coming up to us, telling us how good the show is, and keep it going. Make sure you join us every week. Make sure you join Dylan every Sunday after the NFL when he recaps all the games, usually with his brother Steven. And yeah, man, we here. We're going to be right back next week. Hopefully recapping a Colorado victory. It's going to be wild in here if Colorado wins. I can't wait. But yeah, shout out to the Liberty, shout out to the WNBA, shout out to Connecticut and Dallas. Dallas Wings winning, also advancing to the second round for the first time in I think 5 years. So shout out to them too. They're going to get stomped out by the Aces, but still, shout out to y'all. Thanks everyone. We don't get paid for this. We do it because we love it. We also don't get paid for this promo that I'm going to give, but shout out to Diddy for dropping the Fire album. Fire.
No free ads.
From us to you, we say adieu and have a good night.
Peace, everybody.